Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends. Welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. A lot to talk about again today. Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate has finally been released, and a lot of players are building new Commander decks around these cards. But even though this is going on, the market is very slow this week. As a matter of fact, I was able to bring the threshold for this video down to $1, which means we're not going to talk about any card unless it's moving at least $1 up or down today. And I think the reason for this ties into Double Masters 2022. A lot of players are holding off making the more expensive purchases until they see what's going to be in that upcoming set. Now, one quick note, in today's video, you're not going to see prices for Commander Legends cards themselves because they just came out. We do need them to establish a baseline. In a week or two, depending on how quickly they settle, you'll start seeing them show up in the Market Watch. Quickly before we get into the details though, just a fast reminder, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use the Heroes promo code to save 10% on orders over $10. Currently, you can pick up Commander Legends products there like you see on the screen, and you can also pre-order Double Masters products as well. They have Double Masters 2022 draft booster boxes, as well as collector booster boxes on their site. I'll leave links for these products in the description below so you can find them easily, but check out their whole site because they do have a lot of other things too. Remember, if your order is over $100 or it consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. Also, whenever you use the Heroes promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated, so thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin, as we always do, with the Standard Legal Spotlight. This is where we talk about the standard legal cards that are moving the most this week. First, we have some going down in value. Luxior, Giada's Gift. It is down $2.14 this week to $10. This is moving down as more packs of Streets of New Capenna continue to be opened. It is a solid Commander card though, and it is getting more play in a couple new builds around cards from Commander Legends. Tasha the Witch Queen and Merkel, Lord of Bones. Ob Nixilis the Adversary back again, down $2.36 this time to $16.38. This continues to find its price point as packs are opened, but it is seeing play in a lot of formats. In Standard, it's in Jund Midrange, Rakdos Artifacts, and more. Pioneer, this is in Rakdos Sacrifice. Modern, it's in Rakdos Sacrifice there too, sometimes Rakdos Midrange. And it is also getting additional play in new Commander builds thanks to Commander Legends. It is in decks around Raphael Fiendish Savior and Mahadi Emporium Master. Ledger Shredder down $2.54 this week to $23.18. This was bound to see some retraction due to the number of packs that are being opened, combined with the aggressive spikes that have occurred around this card. It is still the breakout card of New Capenna though. Here are some examples of places where you see it. Pioneer, it's in Esper Greasefang. Modern, Murktide Regent. Sometimes Grixis Death's Shadow, also Asmo Food and more there. Additionally, it is a popular Commander card in a lot of different decks, including Rafine's Scheming Seer. Starnheim Aspirant is next. It is down $3.20 to $2.76, but this is the copy from the list. It was in the list for Crimson Vow and Neon Dynasty, now returning for Commander Legends. This copy did get a little inflated back when Giada Font of Hope came out, but now it is moving to a price more in line with the Kaldheim copy. In Standard, you see this in Azorius and 4-color Angels, and this is a solid Commander card in Angel builds, of course, like Giada. Last card moving down in this section is the Meat Hook Massacre. The double feature copy is down $4.53 this week to $71.65. Okay, this is getting closer to the price of the Midnight Hunt copy. I would expect it to retain more value than that copy in the long run because these are scarcer. However, I still think this price is a little inflated. Now, the card itself continues to be a big Standard card. In that format, it's in Grixis Vampires, Esper Midrange, and much more. Pioneer, this is in Mono Black Devotion, Jund Sacrifice, Mono Black Midrange. This also gets a good amount of Commander play in various builds, like Will Help the Rock Cleaver, for example. First card moving up is Fable of the Mirror Breaker, up $1.18 to $9.42. Now, this is another big Standard card, plus it is seeing play in other formats as well. In Standard, this is in Grixis Vampires, Naya Enchantments, and much more. Now that Winona Joiner Forces and Expressive Iteration have been banned in Pioneer, this should still see a lot of play there. It was in Winona builds, but it might even see more play in the new meta, because it's in decks like Rakdos Midrange, Mardu Greasefang, and more. In Modern, you see this in Glimpse Combo, Enigmatic Incarnation. In Legacy, it's in Goblins. This also sees a lot of Commander play in Isshin 2 Heavens as 1 and more. Next is Graveyard Trespasser. The Innistrad double feature copy is up $1.12 to $4.43. The Innistrad Midnight Hunt copy is up $1.25 to $2.98. In Standard, this one's in Orzhov Midrange, sometimes Jund midrange and Rakdos artifacts. I do think Pioneer is moving this card the most this week due to the changes we just discussed. You do see it in Rakdos midrange and Mardu midrange there, and other decks as well. Plus, this is seeing some increased Commander play around a new legendary creature and background from Commander Legends. The creature is Gal Waterdeep Prodigy, and the background is Scion of Halaster. Last card in this section is Old Gnawbone from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. This is up $257 this week to $44.99. This has been added to the list with Commander Legends, but remember, the list is going back to its larger size this time. That means more of these cards will be entering the marketplace, but not in the large quantities we saw with Streets of New Capenna. Also, though, be advised that this is in the upcoming Beetle and Grimm's Here Be Dragon Secret Lair. Now, when it comes to gameplay, this has been a popular Commander card ever since it came out, and now it is seeing more play due to Commander Legends. It is found in the Dragon Commander decks, and those are seeing a lot more play now due to the Dragon support from that set, as well as the Commander decks that came out alongside it. And I've seen this in Commander decks around a new card, Mirim Sentinel Worm. As a matter of fact, this was in a Mirim deck on a Game Nights episode of the Command Zone podcast this week. That could have brought some attention to it too. That takes us to the Pioneer Legal Spotlight. Again, we'll start with the cards going down in value. Mana Confluence from Journey into Nyx. It is down $1.90 to $32.98. And this is soft right now since it is getting a reprint in the Pride Across the Multiverse Secret Lair. In Pioneer, though, it is in Banned Spirits, Modern Sin Dredge, Legacy Lionseye Diamond Dredge, and it is a huge Commander mana-based card in many different decks, including the Dragon. Rin and Ciri Inseparable. This is the non-foil copy you might find in collector boosters. It goes down $1.91 to $23.72. It is retracting after some recent increases. It was hot because of the Cat Dog support in New Capenna. Even though the market is starting to move on, this is still a popular Commander, and it's also in the 99 of some builds too, like Jinnie Fay Jetmir's Second. Temporal Trespass down $1.92 to $27.99. This card was hurt by the banning of Expressive Iteration in Pioneer, but even before that, it was seeing less play. It is a solid Commander card found in a number of builds, including the popular Yuriko the Tiger Shadow decks. It is also found in a build around a new Commander Legends card, Elminster. Emrakul, The Promised End. This is down $2.27 this week to $50.59. This continues to retract after some recent increases, and it is not seeing as much Pioneer play as some anticipated, but it can show up in main decks and sideboards and some builds there, as well as Modern. In Pioneer, it's in Gruul, as well as mono white mid-range decks. Modern, it's in Elementals, Amulet Titan, and more. It's also in a variety of Commander builds, including Kozilek the Great Distortion. Rest in Peace, the copy from the list goes down $2.35 this week to $10.95. It was only there for Zendikar Rising. And this copy has always been more expensive than the others due to its scarcity, but this week it drops a little closer to the prices of those other copies. With the banning of Expressive Iteration in Pioneer, we're not really seeing those Izzet Phoenix builds right now, so this becomes a less critical sideboard card, but there are still sacrifice decks and such around, so it's not going to disappear. You still see this in some Pioneer sideboards like Azorius Control, Banned Spirits, and more. In Modern, this gets plenty of sideboard play to deal with Yawgmoth builds and other decks there. You'll see it in Burn, Azorius Control, and much more. Legacy, it's in Death and Taxes. It's in Enchantress, too, in the main deck there. Plus, it gets some Commander play as well in a variety of decks, including Zur the Enchanter. Rhythm of the Wild, but this is the copy from the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Upgrades Unleashed Commander deck. It goes up $1.30 to $4.99 this week. So this is in a lot of Commander builds, including the Dragon. And this is in builds around new cards from Commander Legends, too, like Mirim Sentinel Worm, and Raga Draga, Gorgut's Boss. Kalidas Trader of Geth is next. It is up $1.90 to $29.98. And this will be seeing more Pioneer play in a world without Winona join her forces and Expressive Iteration. You see this in Rakdos Midrange, Dimir Control, and more there. Plus, this is seeing more Commander play now due to Commander Legends. It is in builds around Merkle, Lord of Bones, and it is a good upgrade to the Party Time Commander deck. Plus, I've seen it in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there, as well as another card and background found in that product. The front-facing Commander is Nalia de Arnis, and the legendary creature and background I'm talking about are Baracos Party Leader and Folk Hero. Last card in this section is Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. This is the copy from the list. It's up $4.61 this week to $45. This was in Zendikar Rising and Kaldheim, and last week we saw it dropping pretty significantly. This week it does rebound. Again, this could be in line to see more play in the new Pioneer meta. You see this in Mono Green Ramp, Mono Black Devotion, and more there. This is also in many different Commander builds, including Giada. And that takes us to the Modern Legal Spotlight. Again, we have some cards going down in value, then some cards going up. First one moving down is Chalice of the Void from Time Spiral Remastered, down 281 this week to 61.34. Like I said at the top of the video, with Double Masters 2022 on the horizon, many players are waiting on big purchases until they know what's in the set. This is a big purchase. It is a huge modern sideboard card in Elementals, Jeskai Control, and much more. This is found in the main deck in sideboards in Legacy and Vintage as well. Legacy, it's an 8-cast as well as Bomberman and more. Vintage, you see this in Hogak, Squee, Hollowvine, and more there. And it is also getting a little Commander play in different decks. Crime and Punishment is down 283 this week to 34.50. You might remember this was spiking pretty significantly last week. This week it retracts some, which is not too unusual. Good modern sideboard card that can deal with Urza Saga tokens, but still be versatile enough to be useful in other situations. In Modern, this is in Yawgmoth as well as Calibrated Blast. It can also see a tad bit of Commander play too. Urza Lord High Artificer from Modern Horizons goes down 283 this week to $60. This does not see as much play as it used to, but it still shows up in some modern builds. Thopter Combo, Asmo Urza, sometimes Affinity, and more. It is a popular commander though, and in the 99 of some builds too, including a new one around a Commander Legends card, Dyna Air Invoker Adept. Emrakul, the Eons Torn, the copy from the list goes down 305 this week to $48. It was there for Zendikar Rising and Kel time. Many started to speculate that this would be in Double Masters 2022 when Wizards revealed that Kozilek Butcher of Truth was there. Since then, Double Masters cards began showing up in Commander Legends packs. One of them was indeed this card here, so it does appear the reprint is coming. This does currently see modern play in Enchantress, Calibrated Blast, and more. Legacy, it's in Sneak and Show, Mono Green Cloud Post, and more there. Denizen of the Deep. This is the copy from Portal Second Age, going down 325 this week to 1124. This version is always inflated due to a lack of high-grade copies online. It is down some this week, but I still don't think anybody's really paying the price you see on the screen. It does get a tad bit of Commander play. Doubling Season, the Modern Masters copy down again this week. It is down 424 to 85.28. So this copy spiked a couple weeks ago. Last 2 weeks it has been retracting though. It was in the first Double Masters, so that reduces the chance of it being in the new one, but it is called Doubling Season, so some players are holding off just in case. It is a huge Commander card though in many decks, including some new ones again like Merkle, Lord of Bones, and Miram, Sentinel Worm. Flooded Strand, that original Onslaught copy goes down 438 this week to 85.62. Some players think that Ally Fetchlands could be reprinted in Double Masters 2022. Others think they're going to save these for a future Modern Horizons. I guess we'll know soon enough. But what we do know for sure is this gets a ton of play. In Modern, it's in Murktide Regent, Elementals, and much more. Legacy, it's in Izzet Delver, Jeskai Control, and much more there. Vintage, 4-color Tinker, Izzet Tempo, and more in that format. And of course, like all Fetchlands, this is a huge Commander card. You'll see this in the Ur-Drag and in many other builds. Magus of the Moon, the Future Sight copy, up $1.15 to $17.36. Now, this did have a printing in the list. It was there from Midnight Hunt through Neon Dynasty, but now it is back for Commander Legends. When it comes to gameplay, it gets a lot of modern play. It's in Murktide Regent, Elementals, and much more. Legacy, you'll see this in Sneak and Show, Goblins, and Blood Moon Aggro. This is also in many Commander builds, including Winota Joiner of Forces. Stoneforge Mystic from World Wake goes up $1.29 to $47.50. In Modern, this one's in Hammer Time, Death and Taxes, and more. Legacy, it's in Death and Taxes, Esper Stoneblade. And it's also in a number of Commander decks, like the partner build of Arden Intrepid Archaeologist and Rograk, Son of Roga, for example. Counterbalance from Cold Snap, up $1.38 to $21.99. In Legacy, sometimes you'll see this in Izzet Delver, but it is seeing increased Commander play now in Elminster builds. Grave Pact, that 10th edition copy back again, up $1.74 to $35.99. The copy is still a little dry online this week. It is a solid Commander card, seeing more play now in a new build though. Baba Lysaga Night Witch. Wood Elves, the copy from Starter 1999 is up $1.80 to $7.99. This is another example of a particular copy of a card getting hard to find on the online marketplace this week in high grade. That's why you're seeing a little bump here. When it comes to gameplay, it is a popular Commander card, and it is seeing increased play now in Merkle Lord of Bones builds, but there are a lot of cheaper copies out there if you just need to grab one. This gets reprinted all the time. Next we have Fury, up $1.89 to $23.99. Great in main decks and or sideboards. This is a very popular Modern card. You'll see it in Elementals, Murktide Regent, and much more there. Legacy, it's in Goblins as well as Blood Moon Aggro. Vintage, you'll see this in Squee Hollowvine. Plus, it gets a little Commander play in various decks too. Last card in this section is the 6th edition copy of Fervor. This is up 223 to 979. Again, this copy is a little dry online, hard to find in good condition currently. It is seeing increased Commander play though in a new deck, Raga Draga Gorgut's Boss. That takes us to the Vintage Spotlight. This is where we talk about cards that see play in Legacy, Vintage, 93, 94, or cards that are just popular among collectors. And remember, in this section of the video, at least for some of the cards, you might see prices that are a little more reminiscent of what you might see on a price tracking website. That's because in some cases we have cards in this section that don't sell very frequently, and we do have to lean a little bit harder on asking price. Also too, when it comes to the more iconic older Magic cards, the price you see on the screen might fall somewhere in between the price of a high-grade raw and high-grade graded copy. However, if the price up there is not matching up with recent sale prices, I will point that out. First, we have Tolarian Academy up $1.80 to $136.66. In Vintage, you'll see this in Paradoxical Outcome, Aggro Shops, and more. Not a big percentage increase here, but we have Mana Crypt, the Eternal Masters copy up $1.38 to $196.65, and that original media promo book giveaway copy is up $1.86 to $365.98. In Vintage, it's in 4-color Tinker, Paradoxical Outcome, and more. Huge Commander card in many builds, including the Ur-Dragon. I'm seeing this in new builds around Tasha the Witch Queen too. Additionally, this is a good upgrade to the delayed Heads I Win, Tails You Lose Secret Lair Commander deck. Grim Monolith is up $2.45 this week to $312.91. In Legacy, this is in the Epic Gamble and Colorless Cloud Post. It gets a lot of Commander play too. It's in Urza Lord High Artificer and many other builds there. And it was in a deck on that Game Nights episode I mentioned earlier. The commander was Val Candlekeep Researcher, and the background for that deck was Clan Crafter. I feel like this is becoming my new one per video. Okay, we have a Forest again. This one we've seen before in the past. It's the copy on the screen from Battle Royale. It goes up $2.48 this week to $15.05. So, we've seen this before. Hard to find basic lands. Sometimes they jump up in value all of a sudden. Someone decides, okay, I'm going to pick up a number of these for a deck, or maybe a couple decks, and they just buy them all at once. All the reasonably priced copies instantly disappear, leaving only the expensive ones, and that's why you get this weird inflation sometimes, at least until more copies enter the marketplace. Many times when this does happen, it happens with white border lands because many players do prefer those, they stand out when you fetch. However, this has been happening a lot recently, so I do think some of these are copycat or follow-up buyouts. Bayou from Revised up $3.72 this week to $532.49. Yawgmoth's Will from Urza's Saga goes up $4.26 this week to $222.05. In Vintage, sometimes you see this in 4-color Tinker, and it gets some Commander play too in various decks. Tropical Island from Revised up $4.90 this week to $6.54. Colossus of Sardia, this is the Antiquities copy up $11.07 to $59.90. Tundra from Revised up $11.37 to $598.49. Lion's Eye Diamond goes up $11.91 this week to $570. This is a highly played Legacy card. You're going to see this in Ad Nauseam, Bomberman, and much more there. Also, it's in a variety of Commander builds. Volcanic Island from Revised up $13.60 this week to $796.50. The Hive from Unlimited of $14.50 to $80.83. The rest of the white border cards in this section are from the Unlimited set, so I won't keep saying that. Just know if you see a white border card, it's from that set. Living Artifact up $16 to $30.99. Cockatrice up $22.23 to $93.23. Sylvan Library from Legends up $22.57 to $234.95. Bad Moon is rising. It's up $27.25 to $150.53. Winter Orb is up $27.50 to $212.50. Argivian Archaeologist up $63.01 to $344.69. Is this price for real? Well, high-grade raw copies can sell for close to the price at about $330. High-grade graded copies can go for around $750. Island of Walk Walk is up $83.13 to $784.34 this week. Is that for real? Well, this price is closer to what you would expect to pay for a high-grade graded copy. They can hit about $800. High-grade raw copies go for about $480. Last card in this section, Savannah Lions, in theory going up $364.11 to $633.50. Is that real? This one looks a little inflated due to high asking prices. High-grade raws sell for about $270. I have not seen a high-grade graded copy sell for a while, but unless it was pristine, this still feels a little high. And that brings us to the Commander Spotlight. So all the cards in this section are moving, at least in part because of Commander, but there could be other factors as well, and sometimes Commander might not even be the key driver, but I'll let you know as we go through. Urza's Incubator, the copy from Commander Anthology Volume 2, goes up $1 to $43.56. It is a popular tribal commander card. You'll see this in builds like the Ur-Dragon. It's also seeing increased commander play now, of course, because of Commander Legends. It's in Mirim Sentinel Worm builds. In fact, it was in that Mirim deck on game nights this week. That could have brought some attention to it. It is also a good upgrade to the Mind Flayers commander deck, and a good option for a fresh build around the front-facing commander there, Captain Nagathrod. Deranged Hermit goes up $1 to $56.99. This does get some commander play in Shatterfang Squirrel General and other builds. Worms of the Earth. This is up $1.03 to $14.24. This does get a tad bit of commander play, but I think this one's moving more because of its status on the reserve list than anything. Recently, some cheaper reserve list cards have been targeted for buyouts. Maybe this is the start of another one. Maybe it's just a weird price adjustment. Something to keep an eye on. Zarillin of the Claw. This is up $1.03 to $19.95. It isn't a dragon itself, but it is a reserve list dragon support card. It is getting more commander play now, as you can imagine, in Mirim Sentinel Worm builds, and it was in that Mirim deck on game nights too. Exorcist up $1.05 to $38.02, and again, this does see a tad bit of commander play, but moving more because of its status on the reserve list. It is another card from the dark, and a lot of reserve list cards from that set have been hot recently too. Minamo School at Water's Edge from Champions of Kamigawa. This goes up $1.08 to $31.16. This is seeing increased commander play around a couple new cards, Alondo the Seer and Zevlor Elturel Exile. In Modern, you see this in Asmofood and Merfolk. Plus, it was in 2 decks on that Game Nights episode this week. One was Mirim Sentinel Worm, and the other one was that Val Candlekeep Researcher and Clan Crafter deck I mentioned earlier. Vampiric Tutor, this is the one from Eternal Masters, moving up $1.09 to $52.16. This is currently in the list. It was added with Crimson Vow, still there for Commander Legends. Highly played commander card, getting more play now in Tasha the Witch Queen builds. And guess what? It was in one of those builds on game nights this week. Also, you see this in Vintage 4-Color Tinker, Doomsday, and more. Hunting Grounds is up $1.12 to $17.99, yet to be reprinted. This is seeing more commander play now in some Merkle Lord of Bones builds. Cursed Scroll goes up $1.18 to $24.56. Doesn't really see much play to speak of, but it is another reserve list card. Last Chance, the copy from Starter 1999, goes up $1.18 to $55.32. And this does get a little commander play in Obeka Brute Chronologist and more. Royal Assassin, that revised copy, a little dry this week online, goes up $1.19 to $12. This is found in a number of commander builds, including the Beamtown Bullies. Another older card yet to be reprinted, Cover of Darkness. This goes up $1.23 to $47.53. This is getting more commander play now in some new builds, thanks to Commander Legends. It's in a couple builds around new legendary creatures and backgrounds. The first combo is Gut True Soul Zealot and Scion of Halaster. The other one is Volo Itinerant Scholar and Haunted One. Haunted One is from the Mind Flayers deck. And speaking of which, Cover of Darkness is a good upgrade there, or good in new builds around Captain Nagathrod. Mazarek Crawl Death Priest is next. This is the copy from Commander 2015, up $1.29 to $8.98. This is seeing increased commander play in Baba Lysaga Night Witch builds. Gemstone Caverns, the copy from the list, goes up $1.39 to $39.70. This was there from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms through Neon Dynasty. It is in a good amount of commander decks, including Urza Lord High Artificer. In Modern, though, you see this in Crashing Footfalls, Calibrated Blast, and more. Brain Geyser from Revised up $1.40 to $31.66. This does get a little commander play in different builds. Expropriate from Conspiracy Take the Crown. It's been a while. This goes up $1.63 to $28.13. It is seeing increased commander play now around new cards from Commander Legends. Elminster, Tasha the Witch Queen, and Alondo the Seer. Plus it was in a Nero Wild Mage deck on game nights this week too. Bruvak the Grandiloquent. The copy from the list is up $1.68 to $39.87. It was in the list for Modern Horizons 2 and Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. It is a fairly popular commander, but it is getting more play now with Commander Legends cards. Surprise, surprise, another good upgrade to Mind Flayers. Also good in fresh builds around Captain Nagathrod. I've also seen this in builds around another card from that deck paired with different backgrounds. The card is Zealot Sanity Flare, and the backgrounds I've seen are Agent of the Iron Thorn, Scion of Halaster, and Inspiring Leader. Plus, I'm seeing Bruvak and Tasha the Witch Queen builds too. Royal Decree, it goes up $1.94 to $4.99. Sure, it gets a tad bit of commander play, but it looks like another cheaper reserve list card has been targeted for a buyout. Razor Claw Bear, another harder to find older card that's yet to be reprinted. This goes up 203 to 5134. This is an Ayula Queen Among Bears commander builds, and there is some more interest in those decks now because of the Bearscape reprint coming in the Pride Across the Multiverse Secret Lair. Sylvan Tutor from Portal is up 229 this week to 8142. It does get a fair amount of commander play, and it is getting more now in Olundo the Seer builds. Umbra Sphere Manifest up 309 to 1614. This is one of the Innistrad Crimson Vow set booster cards, and it is a popular commander that is seeing more play now because of Commander Legends, but aside from putting new cards into decks running this as a commander, this is also a good upgrade to Mind Flayers, and good and fresh builds around Captain Nagathrod. It is found in Tasha the Witch Queen commander decks as well. You knew this had to be here. Big mover too. Check this out. The Dragon from Commander 2017, only found in foil. It is up 1288 to 6893. This is a very popular commander and in the 99 of some builds too, but obviously this is getting more play now due to the dragon support in Commander Legends. There are plenty of the Dragon deck lists circulating online now that are using Commander Legends cards. And that takes us to the premium spotlight. You know, there's always cards jumping and dipping in the premium market. We can't possibly cover them all, so I try to give you just a little taste of what's happening. I don't like to pick cards that are being targeted for a buyout, or cards that look like they might be dry for a week or two and eventually are just going to go back down. The cards I choose in this section typically are moving because of something that's happening gameplay related. Maybe it's being pushed by some news or a preview card, something along those lines. This week I only selected one card, but it is a good one. It is the foil copy of Expropriate from Conspiracy Take the Crown. It goes up 1776 to 152.36. The question though, since these foil copies don't get a lot of sales, is this price for real? Or is this inflated because of asking prices? Well, long story short, I have seen foil copies sell recently for about $140, and that was before the non-foil copy started to tick up again. So yeah, this price does seem pretty legitimate. And that does it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. If you're still here at the end, hey, I appreciate that. Thanks for sticking with me. Until next time though, hey, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon and have a great day.